Oh, we can't go live in Central Valley Wholesalers. Oh,
Okay.
well.
Sorry.
Welcome to the Free Agent Real Estate Investing Podcast. My name's Stratton Brown.
And this is Michael Butler.
With the low energy.
The what?
With some low energy. Got to pick the energy up.
Oh,
some
yeah.
quick housekeeping stuff. Before you guys go anywhere, if you're looking for any type of cold callers in real estate, go to callmagicians.com. If you guys are looking for the best skip trace data in the industry, go to rocketskiptracing.com. What's your housekeeping stuff, Mike?
Man, hey, if you're a new investor and you're wondering how you can comp your properties without having MLS access, right? You're not a realtor, you're just getting started. Go ahead and go follow me on Instagram. And in my link in my bio, I have a link for you to get PropStream at 7 days free.
Awesome. Well, it's been an eventful, what has it been, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
2 weeks, man. 2 weeks. Yep.
2 weeks. Congrats on the new baby girl.
I appreciate it.
What's the name? What'd they come out at? Is everybody healthy?
Man, so her name is Devin Rain Butler. She came out at 7 pounds. Ooh, I can't remember. 7 pounds, I believe 2.5 ounces. 21 inches long. Had all 5 fingers. All 5 fingers. Had all 10 fingers. All 10 toes. And she's been great, man. She's been a very chill baby for the most part. She likes to eat, man.
That's awesome. We already got a comment. He's always smooth, bro.
You must be talking about you.
No, bro, you got that low energy.
She's for sure talking about you. I had low energy.
You had low energy starting off, boss. You had low energy. You gotta get this shit up.
I was lagging on my end, bro, so I didn't get the punch.
Man. All right. What else has been going on these last 2 weeks? I got back from a hunting trip in Nebraska, killed some turkeys.
You've been gone, man. You've been gone for a while. You've been pretty eventful.
Have I? No,
yeah.
I've been gone for like a week.
Feels like forever. Maybe because I had the baby, or my wife had the baby. Right? Because you were here when that was all going on.
I left last Tuesday, and I got back again on, I got it back again late Tuesday night.
Okay. That's right. I mean, yeah, like you said, a lot's gone on. Like you said, it's been an eventful 2 weeks. I moved into the hub officially, right? I've been there for about a month, but I hadn't been moved in just because we were at the end of the pregnancy and stuff like that. But Monday, I finally got my desk in there, man. I just brought a rug in there today. You know, you got the echoes and stuff in there, man. So the first thing I was looking around, and I think I was doing a cold call, and I was like, man, this is too much echoes in here. Let me go get me a rug. So we went and got a rug yesterday, man. So I'm in there.
Let's talk about how you've had to change up your life with your time blocking, bro. Just to kind of hop into it. Because I get a call from you, bro. Where you been? What's going on? The fuck's going on? Strat.
You know, whenever people ask me about kids, man, for the most part, I think having kids it's pretty simple, man. It's nothing. I didn't feel like life changed too much with one child. And then with two, it's like you kind of already, you know, it's like your junior year in high school sports. And then you come back as a senior for a second child. It's like, oh, been there, done that. Right. And then for the third one, man, it's not that it's hard, but you start realizing with the time, you know me, man, I wake up and I just kind of just go, you know, I've always been that way. I've heard from a lot of people just, you know, in order to scale your business and just to be more productive in your business, you got to time block. You got to do this, and this. But, you know, they say a hard head make a soft ass. You know, I never had an issue without time blocking anything. And so with one kid in school 4 days a week, the other kid in school 2 days a week, and then a newborn baby, I just really, you know, just picking up the slack, I think, with my wife, and, you know, that fourth trimester is real, that postpartum. And so wanting to make sure that you're there emotionally. It took her probably calling me out on it. She mentioned something about my phone one day, and I was just kind of like, I was triggered. And I was like, man, like, you gotta sometimes self-reflect on that stuff. And I'm thinking I'm like, man, why am I so upset? Like, why did that make me so mad? And it wasn't because I wasn't trying to be present, but it was just, we spent 4 days in the hospital. My daughter, she had jaundice, so she was in the NICU. So she stayed actually a day after we were, what's the word they call it when you sent home?
I have no idea.
Discharged, right? A day after we were discharged, she stayed in the hospital. And so it was really just a lot of stuff that I felt like in the business that I was falling behind on. And I got people sending leads, and it was just, I think I was just becoming overwhelmed, man. I didn't have time, or so I was just so unorganized. And so at that point, it was just like, you know what, I got to get a little bit more organized, start time blocking. And that was going to allow me to make sure that I was being able to set aside time for my wife, uninterrupted time. I think that was the big thing. But then also being able to go ahead and still dedicate time for my business. But the biggest thing is uninterrupted time. That was the biggest thing for me, because you can work from home. But as you know, in this business, there's things that you actually got to focus on for long periods of time. And I feel like I was able to start things, but not finish them. And so that's what was getting me frustrated. And so I didn't need a lot of time right now. We blocked off 3 hours a day that I get to go to the office and really focus on the business. And that's going to allow us to definitely be a little bit more consistent on things.
Well, bro, I mean, so I was talking to Matt Larson, and he was like, you want to know what the difference is between the people who work 20 hours, 10 hours a week, and the people who say they work 80 hours a week? They just start something, then they don't fucking focus.
Yeah.
And then they're scattered and nothing gets done. It's like, well, I work 80 hours a week. Well, nobody gives a fuck, bro. Like, what are your results? Like, if you can sit down and focus for 3 hours, hop on the phone, make the calls you need to make, and then you set up a team somewhat, and then you're good, bro. Like, you can really have it great. And then most of your time, I would say I'm not fully present, right? But I'm thinking about, okay, well, what decision can I make? What move can I make to help us grow more?
Yeah, for sure.
But at least I'm not, like, I can't be on the phone with my 3-year-old running around saying, dad, 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 dad. But at least I can be with him, take him to the park, and still have my mind wandering while we're trying to grow. And you get that 3-4 hours in the day to really push. And even in that 3-4 hours, you're going to get in like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because after, you got to run errands and stuff like that, go check out properties here and there. But the biggest thing is that it's uninterrupted time. You know what I mean? So you're legitimately getting things done. But I'm over here looking in the corner. Hey, guys, if you are viewing this right now, go ahead and hit that share button in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share that. Get as many people in here as possible. It's been 2 weeks, man. We miss you guys. We want to be able to interact with you. Get all your friends, family, get them all in here in this live stream so we can bring as much value as possible, man. We miss y'all.
Oh, and we can't. We couldn't share it to any Facebook groups.
Okay.
Make us do it.
Everyone watching is going to share it for us. So we can't do it, but you guys can help us out, definitely.
We're talking about time blocking. But yeah, bro, I think just setting apart now, for that mentorship I just took on. Thank you so much, Aaron. The homie.
Hey, we should probably do like a giveaway or something, bro.
What could we give away?
I don't know. Something.
I'll give away.
We'll figure it out on another episode, but we got to start getting some shares around here.
Okay. What's it called? Where was I at? Oh, about how I structure my day.
Yeah.
And had to really sit down and think about it and be like, okay, well, so I have it. It varies day to day, but then I really had to look at myself in the mirror like, bro, what are you doing with some of your time?
Yeah.
Right. And that shit hurts.
Yeah.
Really hurts.
It's a tough thing to look at, dude, like 100%. And like I said, like I would lead on a deal. That is because I would think about it and literally all day, like if it's a lead getting put into the CRM or a follow-up, or it just seemed like it was a bunch of stuff, man. Systems, not enough data for this, not enough funds over here for this. And so it becomes overwhelming because you're not completing it. And so you might start on it so you feel like you're doing something, but the fact that you didn't finish it, it's still on your mind. And so being able to do that, I knew the biggest thing that I would have to do is obviously wake up early. Right. Yeah. And so I've done it before, so it's not like it's a huge deal for me, because I realize once I have something like in the calendar and blocked off, like it almost becomes a non-negotiable for me. So it's not like I'm like the alarm goes off at 6 and it's like, do I want to get up? It's like, no, like I only have this period to get up, this period to go on a walk, and then I got to be in the shower, be in the office by this time to this time, because once it hits this time, I got to come home. So it forces you to get out of the bed first and foremost. And so that's kind of how I did it. So I pretty much, so for an example of kind of what my morning looks like, because that's really what I time blocked. My alarm will go off around like 5:55 basically. And by 6:10, I got to be outside walking. I go on a walk for about 30 minutes. The first night, dog, I'm like dragging out of the door, freaking eye boogers still in my eyes, bro. And it's cold and shit. I got a little ski mask on to keep my nose from freaking getting all cold, right? And so that was intentional. It was like I knew I wouldn't be up, but I said it like I literally wake up at 5:55 and I gotta be like start my Apple Watch at 6:10 for my walk. So I don't have time to lay around and let the bitch win, basically. Let my inner bitch, take.
That's what it is. It's so hard ass. I still lose the battle like once a week.
Hey, bro. Hey, I'm going good right now. And that was my biggest thing. It's like, my big ass. I gotta get outside. I gotta start moving. And so that was real intentional to get me moving. And then around 6:40 is 6:40 to 7:40 is kind of have an hour to kind of get some coffee. Take my shower, just get into the day a little bit, and then I got to be at the office between 8:30, so I can be gone at 11 from the office.
Right, and so what I've tried to set up now is the days I have I try and get up between like 4. If it's like between 4:15 and 4:45, like if I'm like kicking ass, right, and I went to bed the day before, like up at 4:15 and like get into my day, sit there, because like I need to get moving, right?
Yeah.
Because before I start getting bombarded with stupid ass phone calls, I can get the most shit in my day done in the mornings, right? And I can get a bunch of admin work done. But then let's say from 7 to at like 7 o'clock, Zeno's up, and then I drive him to school. Okay. And so I got to get a bunch of work done before that. Mm-hmm. And then his school starts at 8:15. I drive him to school, drop him off. I got to get in my office. I'll get in my office like 9. Okay. Like 9-ish, right? And then I have to pick him up again like 11:15. So I try and hammer out those office hours or for a little bit of time. But I need to put more hard stops in place, right? Yeah. I think urgency is amazing to where, and if you guys are cold calling or doing like working or anything else, just having a hard stop and creating urgency in your life will help out a ton. And like as morbid as this is, like, hey, I need to get this done, or Zeno's going to lose a leg, and Zeno's going to lose a leg at 11:15. Yeah. So like sit there, put my phone away, and push along. And then I'm starting to put like I'm just leaving my phone. I think I'm going to buy a black and white phone, and then just use that and have that only be my phone. And then I'm probably just going to hire on someone for content because you're right. It's easy to justify like I use Instagram. Then I get stuck in that loophole, right? Like, well, I need to make content. Like, well, Stratton, how much content did you actually put out today for the 3 hours you spent on Instagram?
See, but that's tough though, because they say like a loophole and blah blah blah. But sometimes, honestly, I feel like I'm technically not even enjoying social media until the evening, like and later in the evening, because even if I'm not creating the content, like, bro, it's like you said, you can get lost in it, but it's because it's so much good content. It's really, you're looking at other content, getting ideas of the content that you can post, or just the creativity that other people are looking to use and stuff like that. So I use it, especially like even with business. Jason says it a lot too when he talks about
that's what's hard.
Referral and word of mouth and stuff like that. Well, the only how you're going to be in somebody's word of mouth, or someone's going to even mention your name, is if you're constantly in front of them. And the only how you can constantly be in front of them is if you're constantly on social media. And so sometimes I don't even feel like I'm really enjoying it because it's so much intent behind of why I'm on there.
Yeah. I mean, but same thing, bro. Like I need to be putting up 3 podcasts a week on Facebook. I need to be posting every single day on Instagram. And then there's a direct correlation in both of my businesses with the amount of activity I have on social media.
Yeah. And you know what? And another thing, bro, look at our podcast. We live stream this thing. It hasn't once hit a podcasting platform, right? Luckily, it'll put it on YouTube and stuff for us. But as for like Apple Podcast, Spotify, or any other podcasting platform, we're not even on there yet. So that's another thing that we, as a team would need to focus on also. And if you have a podcast and this is something you're really good at, I mean,
hit us up.
Hit us up.
Hit us up.
They say it's either time or money. And I know I ain't got no damn time. So hit us up so you can help us out, man.
It's somewhere in all these pages to get it done, right? And then one thing I run into is, let's say I start doing something and then I don't know how to do it. And then I go down this fucking rabbit hole of how to do it. And then that rabbit hole leads into another rabbit hole, into another rabbit hole. Yep. And then like my morning's gone. It's like, Stratton, what do you accomplish? It's like, well, I'm researching.
Oh, shit.
But not a goddamn thing.
So do you guys, if you're tuning in right now, do you have a morning routine? And what does it look like?
Right. And so, I mean, my morning routine, wake up, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do gratitude in my phone. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I drink pre-workout in the morning instead of coffee. Okay. I'll drink my pre-workout and then I'll read, take my vitamins. If it's the day to take the mushroom, I'll take a little bit of mushroom. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I will journal, write down all my goals, meditate. Okay. And then I dive into my day. And I try. So what I started to do, bro, I don't even have any phone calls until 10:23 in the morning.
Wow.
Like I don't want it. I don't want any of it.
Well, but you have other businesses though, so that makes sense.
Like I don't want any of it, right? And then like our leads manager is calling in the morning, but like so I have Zeno in the morning, and then I don't want any inbound phone calls, right? If I have to call someone, I call my dad on my way to my office every day, and then I'm with Zeno from 7 to 8:15, and then I'm talking to my dad on my way to my office, and then from there I'm hammering out whatever bullshit and stuff needs to be sorted out for that day. Mm-hmm. And then after 10:23, like I turn my phone off and do not disturb.
Okay, that makes sense. So, man, so mine again, just starting it. So there's no, I don't have anything in there like meditation or affirmations, stuff like that. I mean, those are things that I think eventually I will implement. But mine is strictly, you got to have short-term goals for the most part. And the biggest thing for me was to make sure that I get up, make sure that I start moving, right? And make sure I'm at the office when I say I'm going to be there. And then obviously when I get home from the office, I take my kids to school because they got to be there. They're in the afternoon class or session. So I have to get them in school by 11:50. And so I get home, get that taken care of, make sure they're dressed and all that good stuff. And then from 12 till they get out about 2:45, 2:50, that's strictly time for me and my wife. And to me, I think that's the biggest thing because I'm able to knock out so much stuff in the morning that it legitimate. And it doesn't sound like much, man, but 2 hours when you got 3 kids and, right after I pick them up from school, I got football practice from 3 to 5. And so that guarantees me being able to, whether that means laying down in bed and just watching Netflix or something, just something. And it feels easier for me to be able to do it because I had my opportunity to do what I needed to get done. Because this whole thing kind of started because, like I said,
I want to spend time with my wife.
You know what I'm saying? But she had mentioned it like, like you're here, but you're not really here, and so it was frustrating for me because I'm like, okay, I put my phone away, but we're sitting here watching TV, and that in itself was frustrating for me because I'm like, this is wasting time. Like I got too much shit to do and I'm sitting here watching TV, so I could never really be present because I felt like I was wasting time by sitting here watching TV. And so by being able to time block like that, it allowed me to get the shit that I needed to get done. So then I can sit down and just watch something with my wife and not necessarily feel like I didn't get done the things that I needed to get done. But the best thing about it is between that 8 and 11 o'clock, I don't want no one interrupting me during that time. So like if someone's calling me or someone's like wasting my time or, whatever it may be, I'm like, look, bro, I got 3 hours. So unless this directly correlates to my business or, you know what I mean? Like it's helping me out, I can't do it right now. Maybe in the evening we can link up, but right now I got 3 hours that's focused on my business. And if it ain't helping me, then this ain't the time for the conversation. And so I actually understand it a lot more because, I mean, you were that way before, I even started this time blocking thing. And so I knew that certain times that I just don't call you or certain times that your phone is put away. And now, I understand it a whole lot more now.
I mean, but it's still hard. And I think
it's not hard because
me,
I want to be successful and I want a good ass business. And I know I only got 3 hours a day to do it. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, don't fuck with my time.
It's hard for me to disconnect time with my family, right?
Yeah.
Like even that, I will still not be present because I'm thinking about some bullshit at 6 o'clock. And I try and shut stuff off around 6 o'clock and everything. But then at the same time, right? Let's say I do hop on Instagram and I'm chilling and someone else is still at the office. I'm like, Stratton, you're such a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God. That's personal. Like I took that personal.
See, but the thing is, I still get the evenings because I blocked out that time for my wife already. You know what I mean? So it's not as much guilt when I am lost in Instagram or something at 5, 6 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that was the biggest thing. It was really just getting that time in there with my wife because now she had her time. She felt felt special, felt loved. You know what I mean? All those good things, and was able to keep the sparks flaring in our marriage, and then I can get lost in content.
Well, it's fucking important. And I was listening to the Bigger Pockets podcast with Ed Milet. He's like, you want to know what's important? Catch your wife with her pants down.
with your phone being put away?
With your phone being put away, with your catch your wife with her pants down, right? Just to show that other person that you're still there and that they're still important because you get so consumed.
Yeah.
And
I remember we dedicated ourselves to this. Like we've already buzzkilled ourselves. Like we understood becoming an entrepreneur. Most people who become entrepreneurs or in real estate or whatever it may be, we understand that we're pretty much giving up our time to create more time or to be able to utilize more time in the future. So for me personally, I'm like, okay, I might not be able to sit there and play with Legos and all this shit with my kids right now, but when they get a little bit older and they're in these sports and they're doing this, I'm gonna be able to be present for everything. So it's a fair trade-off for me personally because I'm like, give me 10 years, not just not being present, but you know what I mean? Give me this short window to create the rest of the time in my life to be able to spend it however I want. But again, we made that commitment. Our significant others, for the most part, they support it, but they weren't the ones that's like, hey, I'm just going to let you get all these years to yourself and ignore me, so it's easier for us to see the bigger picture because we're the ones that created that picture.
Yeah. And I mean, so I'm on board with that. But at the same, and so I was all about that was, right? Like when it was just me and him at the beginning, just fucking grinding, pushing. I say that, then a picture of Zeno at 1.5 years old pops up on my phone, and I want to start bawling my eyes out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard, man. I need to be more present because no matter what, my son is never going to be 3 again.
Nope.
We're never going to be at this place in our life again. Nope. And so my goal now is I need to time block 3 hours with my family, no matter what a day.
No matter what.
This is real family time. All right.
No,
so time, we get our morning stuff in. We're sitting there eating breakfast. What the hell are you doing? Like, why are you eating like that, bro? Like gassing my son, whatever. And then sometime when he comes home and okay, let's go to the park, Stratton, put your goddamn phone down and enjoy him.
Yeah.
Because even though I can say, you know what, I'm going to push for these hours, blah, blah, blah. One thing that really brings me back to reality is I look at my phone and there's a picture of Zeno from 1.5 years old and he's reading. And I was like, oh my God.
Crazy.
And I wanted to bawl my eyes out, dude.
You hear the older people all the time, man, enjoy them while they're young, so it's just finding that balance. And I personally don't think you're going to be able to find that balance unless you do time block and make time for those things that are important to you. Because it's funny because even in sports, bro, like that's one thing that we had Coach Baxter. And that was one of his things. He was like, there's no such thing as you don't have enough time. He was like, because people make time for the things that they care about, So he's like, it's either you didn't know or you didn't care. Like it didn't matter. Like, oh, my alarm didn't go off. It was like you either didn't know or you didn't care. So you didn't know that you wanted to spend time with your kids, or you didn't care to spend enough time with your kids. And when you like that, it's like, fuck, like I do care. Well, if you cared, then you would have blocked out some time in your day for them, So. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Right. And well, you think about it's good coming from a coach, because I was like, do I want to go into coaching? And then I thought about Coach Peterson and how he's like, Strat, I'm here at 5 a.m. every day and I go home at 11.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about like sacrifices for your family? And I was just like, bro, I don't love football like that.
So here was my moment when I realized that it wouldn't have been something that I would want to do at that level, right? Because in high school, it's still, I mean, you're dedicated to it, but it's still kind of like a hobby, you know what I mean? Compared to like college. And so one of the things that really like shook me to the core in a sense when it came to coaching at a higher level was when we would travel back from away games. And it might have even like been like Hawaii we might have even been in Mississippi. And I remember like we got back, it was probably like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Right. And so we play on Saturdays and then we would have like the team meeting at like 1:30 on Sunday. Right? And so we got home at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And then the team meeting was at 1:30. And I remember like the coaches coming down from the office, bro. They had their coffee cup in their hand. Their freaking hair was like frizzed up. And in your mind, you're like, damn, like you must have slept up there. And then you realize like on Sunday, not only did they have everything graded from the game, every snap, but then they had breakdowns and then they had a game plan for the next week. And, if you play Division I football or any type of collegiate sport, you understand like how detail oriented these game plans is. So there's no way that they took their ass home, and then came back with some shit like this. Right. So it was just like, bro, like they literally, I'm tired of shit.
Right. You're a bitch. You're a bitch.
But these motherfuckers didn't go home. And then we would have Sunday practice. And you would see that their wives would come and that they would bring their kids and they would play on the hill with their kids. And then it hits you. You're like, fuck, like this is like their family time. Like their wives had to bring their kids to their job to spend time with their dad.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck no. You know what I mean? Like that's not what I want,
Bro, it's not what I want at all. And you have no job stability, dude.
No job stability.
One dude does bad.
Run the wrong route and you're fired.
Right. 18-year-old cocaine addict runs the wrong route. You're out here. Nope.
No discipline in your program.
You have and then you do a good job, but your boss messes up. So everybody's fired.
Their damn job. You know what I'm saying? So that put it on a whole new perspective for me. We got Daniel. You wake up at 9 to 10, sometimes breakfast. Fuck. 9 to 10.
Let me shout out Daniel. He has a company called The List Guys.
That makes sense.
That's pretty good. And he just came out with a new CRM and text message software called HiveMind.
So Daniel can just do whatever the fuck he wants. That's why he wakes up at 9 to 10.
Yeah, Daniel's a software guy. And he still does real estate though.
That's amazing. But I wish I was like a software tech guy.
Right. So do I. I'm looking into it.
No, bro. That's why our podcast isn't on a platform. I started looking at the code and stuff that they were saying that you got to put on there, and I was like,
I have part of the code somewhere.
Okay, yeah, I don't even know what it is. So I was just like,
Anyone else have any? Oh, go ahead, bro.
No, I wasn't saying nothing. Go ahead.
Anyone else have any other morning routines or something that they feel separates themselves? I like the pre-workout in the morning, bro. Way better than coffee.
Pre-workout? Oh, it's like crack.
Well, no, coffee gives me too many jitters, right? Pre-workout's just enough, and I get like all warm and fuzzy,
Yeah.
And so, and then I sit down and I read.
I got ADHD. I got my Adderall right on the nightstand.
Yeah, that's true. That's what the mushrooms are for me, to help me get a little bit of that focus and that workout. Shout out Bucked Up, sponsor us, Bucked Up.
There we go. There we go. So what about business, man? I mean, you're coming off of a pretty much like a record-breaking month.
Yeah, man.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Big month, dude. And this Pavity. Oh, you work out at 7 a.m.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
What was it? Yeah, well, like almost $110,000 in revenue.
Nice.
Last month, my biggest month to date. Right, and that was pretty crazy. I joined a mentorship that I've been pushing. I've been telling you about how long I've been pushing for it. I can't talk about who it's with, but I mean, I really don't make that much money. I had to go to the bank to send out a 35K wire, and that was the biggest wire. That's the most money I've ever spent on myself. Not on huh?
How did it make you feel?
Oh, bro, I called you on my way to the bank, bro. I'm fucking nervous.
Yeah.
Like, I'm spending all this money and it's just into myself, right? Like, I've spent it over.
You selfish SOB.
Right? I'm a selfish son of a bitch. Oh, man. But yeah, it was, it's stressful, dude. Like, I don't care. I don't know where other people are, but like, I'm not that rich, right? I'm dropping 35K and there is no monetary value that's coming back from this.
No, it's
like,
you got work to do.
This is me paying to get someone's fucking phone number and for them to give me advice in my businesses on how to scale those businesses and take them to a certain direction. So yeah, it'll give me like I'll make money with it and I'll develop a great relationship, develop new relationships. But like I think it's the first time I've ever been scared spending money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I've ever been scared.
I can't relate to that.
Really?
I'm scared every time I skip trace.
Right? It's like, fuck, okay, I'll skip trace, but like the deals will come. But this is the only thing to where it's not like a marketing spend.
For sure. Because even with data, it's one of those things like, well, fuck, like, why are you afraid of spending it? And it's like, well, bro, you just got to put in some work. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to like pump yourself up with some shit like that. But like when you're talking about mentorship, like it's still going to come down to work, but it's not like you're throwing that money out there and then just, you can have other people do it too.
Well, and I'm not going to get like, so what we spent 45K in an Amazon store last year, right?
Yeah.
And okay, well, I'll get X amount in return. I'll make my money back in however much. Right. And I already have with this, I've already talked to them. I'll have like some affiliate that'll pay it back in probably like 3 different affiliates, right? That'll be really nice. But still, I don't know. I called you. I was like, bro, I'm stressing. Like, this is huge for me. I just never done that before. And then he sent me a link that was huge. He was like, well, what do you want your life to look like?
So that's a deep question, low key.
Right. And I was just I sat there for an hour. Like, what the fuck do I want my life to look like? And I was like, and he was like, how many hours a day do you want to work? And I was just like, I don't know. Like, even if I was thinking about it, like, let's say I work 2 hours a day. What the hell else am I gonna do? Like, I like working.
Yeah. Right? That's my hobby.
And it's like not my hobby, but like I like building stuff. I like growing. I like pursuing something. And so I really had to sit there and just be like, what the hell do I want my life to look like? Like, what type of revenue do I want? What type of profitability do I want in my companies? Like, how big do I want them to be? How lean do I want them to be? Like, all these different structures, like be really detailed with it so we can know like where we want to take them, right? So if you're going to pay me all this money to help you, what the hell am I helping you with?
Yeah.
And so I sat there. What was it? I sent it out last night. And
for the sake of that, what is it?
I want Call Magicians to be at 4 million a year, and bringing me that'll bring me in hopefully 1 to 2 million. And then I hate real estate. As we all know, I hate real estate. I hate talking.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay. You gotta be more specific.
I hate the mundaneness of real estate, right? Like I like the numbers, I like adding to my personal growth, and I love adding to my portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
But me going out and being like a deal hunter and blah blah blah, it's like, bro, it's not fun for me.
Yeah.
Unless if I can hop on the phone and talk to a guy, like, yeah, you want to sell? Like, cool, yeah, what's going on, bro? Let's talk about it. What can I do for you? Like I can do that, and that doesn't bug me. But me doing all the mundane, talking to sellers and that bullshit, it doesn't excite me. And so I want a company that just is on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can eventually I want to build it out to where it's who do I use? I love Pace's model and I love Ryan Dossey's model to where they have people in-house now to where they just add to the portfolio and Pace doesn't have to worry about it. And Ryan's the same way to where they are building a portfolio and it doesn't have to be a huge team. I will still have to be somewhat involved. And maybe this is, I didn't even decide, we've been looking at the storage units. I haven't decided if this is single family storage units or whatever of, okay, it's on. We have someone who's handling the bank financing. We have someone who's handling the properties. We have someone who's handling everything.
Yeah.
All those people are making amazing money, better money than make anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it just grows my portfolio. That's what I want that to look like.
Yeah.
And then Palm Editions to be at $4 million a year, and we should be able to hit that within a year or so.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to look like. As far as working hours, bro, I'm stressed about it. I don't know. Because like, right, we get there and like with Call Magicians, I have it set up pretty well to where now, like if I get involved, I'm really just fucking shit up. Right. Like if I get involved and I like start doing
you're that guy. You're the guy that like, bro, go home. Go home.
Right. But then with the real estate side, again, like, okay, we have the leads coming in, we have the leads manager making calls. Anything else just comes to me and I call them. And then at a point in time, like, bro, there's nothing else you're gonna do unless you want a cold call. I'm like, I don't want a cold call.
Yeah, I don't like cold calling.
Right. And so then that means my day's done. And then I got to find other stuff to do with my day. So it's content and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want a jet. I know that I want a jet.
You want a jet. Well, that's cool. Like, I'm glad you want a jet because then that just means I don't have to want one. You know what I mean? Because like your jet is our jet. You know what I mean? You just got to know someone that got a jet. Then after that, you ain't got to get one.
Right. But I mean, I just think about it like, how cool would it be? So I want to live in Utah. So I want to live in Utah or Vegas, but my son's mom lives here, right?
Yeah.
I need to have enough cash coming in or an airplane to where I can just go back and forth and it's a couple hours and like, Zeno, go home. Tell the jet dude you want to go home. Go hop on the jet.
Tell the jet dude to go home.
Right. And he hops on the jet and he goes home and like I don't have to worry about it being an issue. I can live where I want. I get the best of both worlds. Like that's how
they can't even complain. Why would you move halfway across the country?
Why would you move halfway across the
country? That needs to come back here. Bro, I got a jet. I can go wherever I want to go.
Right? Within reason to where like if let's say I move to Vegas or I move to Salt Lake to where it is at least feasible to where I can live there and I'm not tearing my family apart.
Yeah. It's true.
And then what else? That and then working hours, bro. I don't know how.
Did you put that in the thing?
No, I didn't put the jet in the thing. That is a personal thing that I need to take care of. If I achieve those other goals, the jet will eventually come.
The jet will come for tax purposes.
You
would have to buy the jet, you know what I mean?
Well, fun fact, bro, like I was looking at them. A jet costs like $1 million a year just to own. Like just for
is that like fuel and everything?
Crew, fuel, maintenance. And then with those super yachts, the crew lives on the yacht.
Okay.
So like the crew's partying on your yacht all year long until you decide to go use your yacht like every quarter or so. And when you're not doing that, the cruise is on there living.
Chilling.
And you're paying them like $1 million, $2 million a year just to keep that thing upkept.
But a jet costs $1 million a year, which I know it sounds like a lot of money. I mean, it is a lot of money. I don't want to say it sounds like it is a lot of money. But when you talk real estate, not that bad.
No, not that bad. But then like Stratton, you have $1 million a year in disposable. Like I can't even fathom that, right? Like I have $1 million a year just to Like, I better be using that goddamn jet.
Yeah.
Like, I better be on that thing a lot to justify $1 million of something just sitting there.
I mean, people that have millions of dollars sitting in equity in rental properties.
But it's not going so, like, that $1 million isn't coming back, dude.
You want to know where we're coming back. So I mean, it's just there. You know what I mean? You got average Joes with $100,000 in equity because their home is paid off, just sitting there that they ain't utilizing. One of those people, feel free to refinance that house.
How was your last month, bro?
Well, if you would ask me like 2 weeks ago, fucking month was amazing in the sense of like the business. But I think I got so scatterbrained towards the end that I think I called you, right? I called you and I'm like, bro, I think I got to do this. I think I got to do that, right? And you were like, bro, I thought you were having a good month. And I was like, well, I am having a good month, but there's still 11 more months left in the year. Right? So that is an invitation into the mind or that is a glance into the mind of an entrepreneur, because I had a good month, but I'm so worried about the other 11 months that I'm not even enjoying the good month that I've had, you know? Right. And so it's been good, man. We hit the ground running. I started off, I think my highest converting lead source right now is referral. You know, we got the Airbnb that came in. That one came from my cold caller or my acquisition manager. And then we had one deal closed. That was two deals closed. That was straight referral. Someone that we've had that I've done business with probably about a year ago, and another one a family member referred. And then we have one that should be closing soon in Corcoran. So you're looking at about four or five deals in the month of January.
There we go. And so let's talk about KPIs with your panicking ass.
Yeah, let's do that.
So Michael calls me, Stratton, where the fuck you been? What's going on? My business is failing because I'm not talking to you. Like,
Stratton's my accountability partner, man.
I was pheasant hunting for like 4 days. Like I wasn't gone very long. So me and Michael had to talk about keeping a pulse on your business with KPIs, right? And so he was like, well, I got all this going on, but I don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And so the only way, like, how I can say, like, well, I don't work that much in Call Magicians is because I have a huddle, and then I have a handful of KPIs that I look at to make sure everything's on track, everything is going the right way. So with Mike, we sat down, and I was like, okay, bro, let's start it off with Chris. Okay, how many people did you talk to? How many people picked up?
Yeah.
How many people didn't? How many people did you send to Mike? Flat out. We need to know that. Like, okay, so you're hitting your quota on calls. How many of them actually picked up? And then how many of them qualified as an actual deal because Chris is handling a lot of leads management, right? Mm-hmm. And so we got that section. Cool. Hammered out. And now you're like.
That in itself was like, which is kind of what we were doing, and not the keeping the data part of it, but as for the role, he was already low key in that role, but there was no way, like I wasn't necessarily keeping tally on it. Yep. And I think that was just more of a sense because he is commission. It's one thing when I have like a texter who I pay, you know, who's, you know, on my payroll. And so then it's like, okay, bro, like I need this. But I think sometimes, and I don't know if anyone else has had that happen in their business where, you know, you kind of tread a little softer when it's just a commission-based person because you almost feel like you don't have a leg to stand on. But you do, man. At the end of the day, if you got the right people, you should be able to have that type of conversation with them. And if those same goals, you know, if your goals align, then it shouldn't even be a hard conversation to have. And it wasn't. I think I was just all in my own mind.
Right. Well, and we have to set expectations when we bring people on. Like, hey, even though this is a commission job, stats, you need to be successful. And if you don't hit these stats, you're not successful. Then I need to get someone else in that seat because you are still losing money right?
Yes.
Because opportunity costs, he's not closing deals, blah, blah, blah. Or if he's not bringing what you expect that person to bring to the table, you are actually losing money, even though it is commission only.
Yeah, because you're still spending marketing dollars.
You're still spending marketing dollars, bro, and your opportunity costs and everything else. Then what went over the texting KPIs, just like, okay, you need to know these simple KPIs. I think is how many went out, your response rate, how many leads were generated. And that was a basis of like all we want to know for the texting KPIs. And then you just get both of those KPIs sent to you every morning.
Yep.
At the end of every shift. That way you know what's happening and you aren't just panicking. Like,
yeah.
Oh God, like I'm spending all this money, but where's it all going?
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about it now that it came up. And I was just talking to somebody else about it today with text messaging, right? And so you talk about, they say, how is text messaging working for you? As everyone knows, if you follow me, I'm a huge advocate for text messaging. But I think right now I do have a texter on payroll. We send out 3,000 text messages a day. And so the biggest thing is I feel myself constantly, yes, you're uploading more money, right? You're putting more money on the platform. You're going through these leads. But when you're going through 3,000 text messages a day, bro, like I got 40, 50,000 records on there, right? And we're constantly recycling stuff like that. They're just eating through the data. And so it becomes more of a hassle in the sense of keeping up with data. And again, we're in the Central Valley, man. So we're from Merced and Bakersfield. And so there's only so much data that you can really get, before the platforms itself starts suppressing stuff and, they replying back stop or no. And they're getting on a do not call list. And so then the question becomes, texting, I believe, was a really good marketing strategy when it was just me doing it because I wasn't consistently sending out 3,000 a day. And I think the issue is coming up to where when you try to start scaling it, it's really hard to scale texting because
you need everything. That's why I started buying. Just straight zip codes, dude.
Yeah.
Because like at a time, at a point I was at like 5,000 a day or something.
Yeah.
I thought that was big. Right, it's a lot, but then I had to just like, okay, buy this zip code, everything, 15% equity. I don't care.
Yeah.
Buy it, let the people text it.
Because it's up to it. Like you can't niche down on text messaging. Like you can niche down on cold calling because you're not burning through 3,000 dials a day. You know what I mean? Well, depending on how many callers you got, right? But typically if you got 5, 6, 7, a call center, you're probably a nationwide wholesaler.
Right? Like, because again, I ran into it again to where I had so many cold callers and like, well, damn, bro. Now who we call?
Yeah, like he told me today, like, hey, like running out of we got about 100 left, and I'm like, bro, you're gonna have to just call it a day. Like, cause it was to the point like you just gonna have to call it a day, bro. Like, cause I don't I right at this point in time, like I was at football practice. So I'm like, I ain't got time to like go find you some more data to upload on there. And you're just gonna be sitting there twiddling your thumbs anyway, bro. So you like, I'll still pay you for it, but like, I mean, you might as well call it a day, bro.
That is the hard part. And then you need to, I hired on an assistant and I'm trying to give her more stuff.
Yeah.
And just like message my assistant, like tell her to get you more data.
Yeah.
So I can enjoy the football. And then that's you buying back your time.
And so that's the time blocking aspect, right? Because before, when we talk about hiring on an assistant or whatever it may be, someone a manager for my my cold callers or well, not the ones with call magician, right? But someone for like a texter or just little things like leads and whatever it may be. Me time blocking. It's going to allow me to be able to pour that time into somebody that's going to eventually buy back my time. Because now I got 3 hours a day that I can have team meetings, that I can hop on for 30, 45 minutes a day and walk through what we do when a lead comes in or, how we put more data or how we pull data off PropStream and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to help me out big time.
Yeah, man. So you guys, And I used to think, I don't know why, but when people talked about KPIs, like, man, these people are stupid, like fucking nerds. You know, like at the very beginning, like I don't know, for whatever reason, I was just so opposed to it. Like, no, I'm out here making money, man.
Because we weren't doing enough deals I have to worry about. You weren't doing enough deals, and we weren't spending enough money to worry about KPIs. But what happens is when you start doing deals and you start spending a bunch of fucking money, and sometimes you're spending a bunch of money and deals ain't coming through, you start to panic.
I don't care what anybody says. Panic. That is going to happen. Yeah. I've not talked to a single person in real estate where they don't spend a bunch of money. And then, well, I know a dude who's very, very large, who at a point in time was $400,000 in the hole and kept spending.
Yeah.
And then eventually pulled out $1 million, but he was $400,000 in the hole.
Yeah.
So you need to know.
Like much when you're doing a deal or two a month, it don't seem like much because you're probably, if you're doing a deal a month, you're probably spending $500, $1,000 a month, right? But then the deal comes and it's like $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. So you're like, oh, fuck KPIs, bro. I'm making dough and I ain't even spending shit, right? But then when you start doing 4 deals, 5 deals, and you're spending $2,500, $3,000, $4,000, and then the deal don't come in, and then you're spending $3,000, $4,000, you're like, whoa, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? So it comes. Once you start spending money, and shit ain't coming in, you're gonna panic. You're gonna panic because you don't know where your money's going.
Right. And then you need to know like what the hell's working. Right. And so we were talking about Michael's texting KPIs. I have a friend out of Dallas and he knows exactly, and they do 25,000 text messages a day. And he was I was talking to him today. He's a client of Call Magicians. And I was just talking to him about, I was like, hey man, I'm probably gonna need more callers, blah, blah, blah. This is happening with the carriers. He was like, but my response rate went from 20% to 5%. And he knew it like that day.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're spending, what is that, 25,000 times by half a cent, whatever that is, that's still a decent amount of money.
I'm spending like, I think it's like $250 every 3 days or something like that. It's like $50 a day is what I spend for texting.
Right? And if that happens, like you got to be able to track that. And the only reason you knew how to do that was KPIs.
Yeah.
And so that can get super nerve-wracking. What else did happen this week? I think KPIs and time management have been awesome. What book are you reading?
Same thing. Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
I started it over because I felt like I wasn't really paying attention to it when I was in the car. Because I'd be looking, like driving for dollars. Like I'm driving, but then I'm like, oh, squirrel. You know what I'm saying? So I listen to it now when I do my walks in the morning.
Bro, what's it called? On my way home today, I sent you that video. I was on the freeway and I saw a boarded up house off
off Bullard and 41.
No, it was on the left side, going towards my house.
Okay. No, going 41, going towards your house.
It's not towards Bullard though.
Not Bullard. It's Herndon.
No, it's not nearly that deep.
Okay, I'm gonna show you the one. I see it every time, but I'm already going back home. So I'm like getting on the freeway to go towards the 180, and I see it every time I get on the fucking ramp, and I'm like, fuck, I forgot about that house.
So I'd go and I searched for it, and I probably burnt a half an hour of my day looking for one house that I saw that was boarded up.
You didn't burn it, bro. That's a deal. I'm a sucker for a freaking boarded up house. Boy, I see freaking a garage or a window boarded up.
BD Hove. BD Hove. All right. Do you guys have any real estate questions about how to get your first deal, what KPIs you should be tracking, or anything else like that as far as real estate goes?
Yeah, go ahead and drop that in the comment boxes, guys.
We'll small talk right now while we wait if anybody does do anything.
Kind of what this was.
What book am I reading? I just finished. Kalani got me another John Maxwell book.
Okay.
I just finished Traction again because I panicked and I was like, what the hell's going on in my business? And so now I'm reading Scaling Up again.
Okay.
I did Scaling Up on audiobook, and then do I have it with me? No, I don't have it with me, but the actual book is really detailed and super intense. And then I have one. I have a really good one that you should read. Let me pull this up real quick. Never Lose a Customer Again.
Follow up, right?
Not as much follow up. It's about just a customer experience and separating yourself and lifetime value of a customer and stuff like that.
So like just being a good person?
No, not even close.
No.
But making people making people feel amazing, right? So the white glove treatment when anybody else comes into your business and building that like customer loyalty.
Okay. So Dame?
If you can get used to it, I say just do it, bro. I wish I was a lot more organized and I would have created those trends beforehand than get here now and not be as organized and force myself to get there.
You know, that's tough, bro. That's tough because we talk a lot about like when you're trying to get your first deal, not over analyzing shit. And when you're first trying to get a deal, there really ain't a lot of shit to analyze. Like you're not really spending a lot of money. Like you're so focused on how to get a deal that what are you tracking? Like at least I'm in a situation. Yes, I panicked, bro, but like I got money. You know what I mean? So like I'm able to kind of slow down real quick. Like, okay, what's good? Let me get this thing back on track. What I need, this is what I need to look at. If it takes me a month where I'm just not fucking making any money, I'm still marketing, right? But I'm just dialing it in at that point. So I honestly feel like no, it's not necessary when you're trying to get your first deal because that's not what you need to be worried about. Like you need to be worried about getting some deals to track.
To an extent, because you may not be broke starting out, right? And let's say you are freaking doing some direct mail because that's the route you chose. Or you did decide to go to a call center like me. If you come to me, you need to know how many leads you're getting, how much money you're spending, and how much your data costs that you send me every month, right? Because you need to see, like, okay, like this is the track. The reason you want KPIs is so you can be like, okay, this is the regularity. Off of cold calling, after every 50 leads, we get 10 prospects and we get one closed deal. You know, like, and so that's what you're starting to look for, right? But even with direct mail, you need to know, like, okay, well, we got this many phone calls off of this and what it looked like. And I'm telling you, if you can just build it now, it'll be much easier later on. If you're starting off broke, whatever, I would just track even, let's say when Alan told me I need to knock 500 doors. That's a KPI, bud. Yes. You need to track how many doors you're knocking just so you can reach. Like I'm pushing. I'm at door 499. The next one's a yes.
You hope.
I hope. Like that's what you need to be tracking.
Yeah.
Well, at least you can know, you can have faith in something. Like, you know, you're working towards something.
Yeah.
And you know the law of averages will be there.
Like that's why I spent money on texting, right? Because I knew when I spent over $500, I was getting a deal.
Right.
But not a problem, something a little bit different now, because now you're doing so much volume. It's kind of like, okay, maybe this isn't something that's 100% scalable, right? Because now I'm still spending this money and I'm kind of like, but at the same time, you still got to give it time to kind of see if we catch up with it.
90 days. But so depending on how you're getting started, bro, but even if you could track how many phone calls you're making to FSBOs or how many sellers you're talking to a day, that's a KPI, dude.
That's true. Because I would track, like when I first started, I would track, and it was, I guess it didn't feel like it, but yeah, I was, because I was like, okay, I got to at least be able to make, and this was while I was still working. So it was like 100 dials a day was kind of like my thing. Like, and this was manual dialing. So this wasn't on a dialer. So this is just me picking up the phone. Like, hey, I got to call 100 people a day. So yeah, you'll still track it.
Yeah, I'd say for track.
Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? It's been 2 weeks. I'm telling you now, this is going to be the platform to ask these questions. Because, you know, with these time blocks, time just got real sensitive.
Have you been on Clubhouse lately? I quit doing it.
How about what?
Have you been on Clubhouse lately?
No. I ain't got time.
I don't got time.
Yeah.
And
I love Clubhouse. I just
I don't trust anybody on there, bro. I don't know them.
Well, I follow people that I follow on like social media. So
but you got people on them panels with like they're following 4,000 people. They got 1,000 followers and they say they do X. I don't know if I can trust them. That's a real thing.
Yeah. I get good ideas. I still get like I'll hop on like if it's a topic that I'm interested in. But the thing is like if it's like they're talking about Airbnb, right? We got Kyle, but like if they're talking about Airbnb, like I'll get on there, and if it's something that like grabs my attention right then and there, like I'll continue to listen to it. But if it don't grab my attention, like I just close out the app. Like I can't be walking around the day listening to motherfuckers talking. It's some shit that I already know or some shit I can get the answer to right away.
That's the hard part too. I've yet to see a legit room.
Yeah.
Where the thing is, like one dude is like, well, do you think Clubhouse is going to replace masterminds? I was like, no, because motherfuckers like you are in here asking questions.
Like that.
I can ask an important question to me, then it'd be something that's worth my while. But like, that's not going to replace masterminds.
It won't replace masterminds because, like you said, you just paid $35,000 for coaching. You know what I mean? And that's personalized to you. You get on Clubhouse and there's 400 people in one room. You got the newbie investor, the intermediate investor, and the guy doing freaking 100 deals. 100 deals a year or whatever it may be. So it's just different levels, man. So now if it got to a point where Clubhouse turned into, here was my idea, bro. So they got OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone says, oh, OnlyFans is like a porn site, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, who said it's a porn site? Like, I can get on that bitch and start talking some killer ass real estate and freaking charging motherfuckers $20 to,
There's a dude doing that, bro. There's a couple dudes doing it in like different aspects.
Okay, yeah, I was like, bro, like everyone's like, oh, it's porn, it's porn. It's not fucking porn. I said, what's the difference between what I say it was called again? OnlyFans. The difference between OnlyFans and Twitch. You got dudes live streaming games on Twitch. You can pay to subscribe to them so you can get little emojis or whatever it is in there. What's the difference between OnlyFans?
Oh yeah,
paying to get in the room with me.
What's it called? So, what Gary Vee brought this up, and this is completely off the subject. He was like, so Twitter just came up with rooms.
Yeah.
And so it's just going to be Clubhouse and Twitter. And so now Gary Vee thinks every social media platform is just going to have a Clubhouse feature.
Yeah.
Because like if Twitter just did it, I guarantee Instagram's going to do it in like a week.
Which turns in pretty much turns into Zoom at that point. Because you can use the chat box.
Yeah, you can use the chat. You can use the chat box and everything else, but you just have an Instagram room.
And that kind of bugs me a little bit about Clubhouse though. Like I like the idea of it, but I don't like that I can't come in and like ask like a question in the chat box or something, and someone who's in the audience can still answer that question, or you know what I mean? Like I hate that I got to kind of sit around and hope that somebody asks it, or I get called to the stage, or whatever it may be.
Right. I just don't trust those stages, bro. You got a bunch of random people up there giving out advice. Another guy who I know who owns another call center, Lamso Leads, and he was like, this woman would not answer this guy's simple real estate question. And then he blasted her on his Instagram saying like, what are you doing leading the panel if you can't answer this real estate question?
Yeah.
And his name's Alex. Bro, Alex is in like 9 different markets. They do like 4 million a year or something, like 4 million plus.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't let him answer the question.
Hey, young blood dude?
No, Alex Quezada. Alex is based out of Orlando, I think.
Okay.
He's but like he's the real deal, right? And like so that's why I got an issue with Clubhouse, because you got stuff like that to where someone doesn't want to get their ego checked. Yeah. Because this guy's doing deals and he can answer the question. Like someone's there asking for help. Just help him out.
Just help him out, bro. There's someone in. There's a moderator in there. Matt. I can't even remember his last name, but he's a pretty dope moderator.
Matt Andrews.
Huh?
Matt Andrews.
Yeah. Because he actually, like you said, like he actually allows everyone, no matter how big, how small you are, to just, so the moderators is essentially, you have a well-versed kind of stage, people that can, answer low-level questions, high-level questions. You don't just have the people that's on the stage, looking to get their shit stroked while they're standing up there. You know what I mean? And so I remember he had left one of the rooms, and one of these, this other moderator came in there, and bro, as soon as she came in, like, bro, and we had been chatting it up pretty well and stuff like that. But I guess Matt had to step away or something like this. And this chick came in, bro, and like booted me straight off the stage. And I was like, shit, like, it didn't mean much for me to really be on here, but it was just like, damn, like, how big does your ego got to be? Like, you came in and didn't recognize who I was and was just like, boop.
Oh yeah. Well,
you can't check their ass. You know what I mean? You can't be like, who the fuck is you? You know what I mean? It hurt my pride a little bit. Like, you came in and booted out the little guy, and then I can't even check your ass. Like, I went as far as like opening up the Instagram, and I was about to DM her. Like, hey, bro, like, who the fuck do you think you is? But yeah.
Well, and you got to get your intro down real quick so everybody thinks you're important.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
My name's Stratton. I have 9 businesses. I raise goats in the middle of India. I raise goats in the middle of India. I've actually helped 3 million people with cleft palate. I've helped another 6 million people with missing index fingers.
That's what it turns out to. That's definitely what it ends up being.
All right, bro. You got anything else, dude, before we hop off?
Yeah, like I said, if you need help analyzing deals, right? Something that's definitely helped me out tremendously when I first got started was PropStream, man. It was a blessing. I can't even say in disguise, because the shit wasn't disguised, right? But it's definitely helped me be able to use as a comping tool. You get to pull 10,000 properties a month. I have a link in my bio, give you 7 days free. Go ahead and click my link in my bio on Instagram. My Instagram is right here. And click and sign up.
Awesome. Follow me on Instagram at StratDaddy. Add me on Facebook. If you guys need help with anything, send me a message on Instagram. The only thing I ask, YouTube it first. Right? YouTube it first. I have a friend who asked me, like, well, how do I skip trace someone? And I was like, dude, I thought you said you watched a bunch of YouTube videos.
There's hella videos on skip tracing.
Right? I'm not Siri. I'm not Siri. I am here to help, but I am not Siri.
I'm not your little bitch.
If you guys need cold callers, go to callmagicians.com. And always, man, don't give up. We're here to help. Keep pushing. And I love the Max Maxwell thing, bro. You're only one deal away. Really, though, like, if you do a deal you have a chance to do a deal for $100K, and your life will never be the same.
Bro, you got a chance to do a deal for $5,000. That shit is life changing.
Right. And that your life will never be the same. You do a deal for $5,000, and then you can get in a different situation. Mm-hmm. I say just keep pushing. Go find a mentor. YouTube is awesome, but go find someone in your local market.
Mm-hmm. Strat's paying $35,000 for a coach and a mentor, so maybe you can pay him somewhere like way, way, way below that. Still work.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night.